Forgotten by Design, Part 20B, The Recovery. Deep in the vast expanse of space, a scene of devastation unfolded. The skeletal remains of the once proud ambassador ship floated silently, surrounded by a halo of debris. The explosion had been fierce, obliterating most of the ship's structure and sending pieces hurtling into the void. As the remnants drifted through the inky blackness, there was a poignant stillness. Suddenly, a new presence emerged, breaking the quiet solemnity of the scene. A colossal Federation transport ship slowly approached, its floodlights scanning the debris field. It bore the insignia of the Federation's Disaster Recovery Unit, a specialized team trained for such grim tasks. The ship's design was functional and rugged, meant to withstand and navigate the harshest of environments. Several smaller drones, like mechanized worker bees, streamed out from the transport, quickly getting to work. With precision, they started cataloging and collecting pieces of the wreckage, their cameras capturing every detail for the Federation archives. In the cavernous cargo hold of the transport, workers prepared for the incoming debris. All of them were wearing advanced protective suits, their helmets completely sealed, displaying a series of readouts. The suits were bulkier than the standard issue, designed not only for protection against the cold vacuum of space, but also against potential biohazards. The air was thick with tension. Each piece of wreckage brought with it the possibility of unveiling the nature of the bomb, and perhaps more ominously, the specific bioweapon that was rumored to be part of the explosion. The protective suits weren't just a precaution, they were a necessity. No one knew exactly what bioagent was used, and they weren't going to take any chances. As the drones brought the wreckage into the hold, the workers moved meticulously, placing each piece in designated zones based on size and importance. Larger fragments, some still bearing the markings of the ambassador ship, were placed towards the rear, while smaller, potentially more revealing pieces were carefully positioned for easy access and examination. Amid the orchestrated chaos, two senior analysts, Commander Rhea and Lieutenant Draven, monitored the operation. Rhea pointed to a particular piece, a jagged shard of metal that had some scorched circuitry attached. "That looks like part of the central command console," Draven remarked, squinting at the piece. Rhea nodded. "Get it isolated. It might have memory components that survived. Could give us a timeline of events leading up to the explosion." Hours stretched on as the transport's hold slowly filled with remnants of the destroyed ship. Occasionally, the hold's atmosphere would be purged and tested for contaminants, ensuring that no trace of the bioweapon was active. Finally, as the last drone deposited its cargo and returned to its bay, the commander signaled for a full inventory check. Satisfied that they had retrieved all recoverable pieces, she gave the command for the transport to leave the area. The large ship slowly began its journey, heading towards a classified Federation base. Nestled in a remote part of the galaxy, the base was uniquely equipped to handle sensitive investigations of this nature. As the transport cruised through space, the mood on board was a mix of exhaustion and anticipation. The real work was about to begin. Piecing together the puzzle, understanding the motives behind the attack, and more urgently, identifying the bioweapon, were tasks of utmost importance. They had a lot of people waiting on the findings. Echoes from the past. Lenara and Lansing touched down on the Federation homeworld, their ship gliding smoothly through the atmosphere before settling on a landing pad near the center of the sprawling Federation capital. The sprawling city stretched in every direction, a testament to the Federation's centuries of development and progress. As they made their descent, Lenara recounted their conversation with Counselor Zirine. The counselor, ever sharp, listened carefully to their report about Raxiel's intel. "If this holopad holds even a fraction of what he claims, it could be invaluable to our investigation," Zirine had said. The counselor agreed to Raxiel's tentative arrangement, emphasizing that he would only be released into her direct custody. In the same conversation, Zirine had mentioned that the remnants of the ambassador ship were being transported to a military base for a forensic dive into its tragic demise. The unused transport building Raxiel had described lay in a dilapidated sector of the city, its glory days long past. Lenara and Lansing stood outside, taking in the sight of the old, crumbling structure. Ivy climbed the sides, creeping through cracks and broken windows, while nature slowly tried to reclaim the forgotten edifice. The towering skyscrapers of the Federation capital loomed in the distance, making this ancient structure appear all the more out of place. As they waited, Lansing broke the silence. "It's strange, isn't it? To think of how much history is buried within the vastness of this city. And here, in this old building, might be a piece of the puzzle that can change the course of our investigation." Lenara nodded in agreement, just as two figures approached from the shadowed alleyway. Agent Karras and Agent Jael, both seasoned operatives, greeted Lenara and Lansing with a brisk nod. "Heard you might need some backup," Karras remarked, his voice light but his eyes serious. With a quick briefing, Lenara explained their objective: a numbered box or locker hidden deep within the transport building. Consulting an old city schematic on her portable display, she pointed to an area labeled Storage Section C. "That's our best bet," she said. With a unified sense of purpose, the four entered the building. The air inside was stagnant, carrying the scent of old paper and rusted metal. Their footsteps echoed, the only sound in the otherwise silent structure. Each corner they turned and each door they opened heightened the tension, but they moved with caution, wary of any unexpected threats. Arriving at the storage section, a series of old metal lockers lined the walls, each marked with fading numbers. "There," Lansing pointed, "Locker 317. That's the one Raxiel mentioned." Karras and Jael approached, and with a swift move, Jael used a compact device to unlock the rusted door. It groaned in protest, revealing its long-held secrets. The locker was mostly filled with old transit items, timetables, discarded bags, and faded newspapers. But as they sifted through the detritus, Lenara's fingers brushed against something solid. She carefully extracted a dusty hollow pad from beneath a stack of old papers. Lansing, peering over, let out a low whistle. "Well, looks like our friend Raxiel wasn't bluffing. This could be the break we've been hoping for." Lenara held the device with reverence, aware of its potential significance. "I've got a team on standby at the Federation lab. They're the best when it comes to extracting data from old tech. We should have answers in a matter of hours." Agent Karras nodded. "Let's get out of here then. The sooner we find out what's on that pad, the closer we get to understanding the bigger picture." As the four retraced their steps, exiting the ancient transport building, the weight of their discovery bore heavily on them. Each was aware that the hollow pad might be a thread leading them deeper into a web of conspiracy and danger. Yet, with the sprawling Federation capital unfolding around them, they were equally determined to unravel the mystery and safeguard their civilization's future.